I quit my job after 4 years. Yeah, let's talk. Hey you guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, thank you for coming back. Let's do a catch up. Happy New Year's. I quit my job. There's just a whole lot. Yeah, as you can see by the title, it's true. I quit my job after 4 years. Finally. So I'm gonna do, it's not really a life update because it's really just one topic, but I guess you could say life update while I get ready. And yeah, let's get into it. So I guess there's no better way to start off the new year than quitting your job because yeah, I sure quit today. I'm literally filming this a couple hours after I quit my job. It is the 8th of January, literally 8 days after the new year, and I didn't waste no time. But it wasn't really my choice. God gave me the sign, I'll get into it, and I took it. Because he knows that I've been trying to leave for the past 2 years, and it's the new year. I'm like, God gave me a sign, he gave me a sign, I ran with it, I took it. I hear you, I heard you, I see you. Boom, I ain't wasting no time. So I kind of want to get ready while I do this, but I kind of don't. I just feel like it's weird to just sit down and talk to the camera without doing a task, because like I feel like nobody would really watch that. I mean, I would, but would you? So I mean, just let's see how it goes. I'm gonna roll with it. I just turned on the camera and I'm gonna start yapping. So chit chat video, possibly we'll get ready in the video, possibly won't. We're just gonna roll with it. I don't know why I'm feeling so nervous. Like, I got a camera. Oh, update. Camera. Hello. We got a camera. I've been filming on my old iPhone and it wasn't terrible. The quality wasn't bad. I just want to upgrade. I want to be more professional. So I got a camera for Christmas. Thank you to my mom and her boyfriend. They got me the Sony ZV-F1, which is the most common camera for vlogging other than the Canon G7X. I think it's Sony ZV-1F, not F1, but same thing, right? I hope. But it's good vlogging camera, good for pictures as well. But anyway, so yeah, update 1, I got a camera. I do have to get used to like looking at the camera lens and not the flip out screen, because I want to look at myself obviously and like see what I'm looking like if I'm in frame, you know. Like right now I'm looking at it and now I'm looking at you. Anyways, nonetheless, yes, I got a camera. And now let's get into the reason why you're here, the title. I quit my job after 4 years, and my first job. This was my very first job. I started when I was like 16 or 17. I'm about to be 22 this month, or next month, because it's January. I'm turning 22 towards the end of February. So, and this was my first job, so I was very scared to quit. I felt very stuck. I wasn't stuck, but I felt stuck. If you get what I'm getting at, you get it. And I'm also the type to never want to like give up on things or quit things. Like, I put my all into things, whether that's relationships, people, a task, like a job. Like, I keep saying like, girl, fix your vocabulary. I just don't like to quit or give up. I just do everything the best that I can. I put my all into things, and so I really never wanted to quit. But it also got to the point where like I knew I was going to leave. I just wanted to have a backup plan first. Like, I wanted to put in my 2 weeks. That's like the professional way to leave a job. You put in your 2 weeks, but most people would have a job lined up before they put in their 2 weeks. And that's just how I've always planned to do it, because I know for the past 2 years that I wanted to leave, truthfully. Out of the 4 years, after that 2-year mark, I was like, yeah. And from the get-go when I first started, I knew I wasn't going to want to stay there long. I did not plan to be there for 4 years. 4 years and 4 months if we're gonna be to the T. But yeah, it wasn't very expected, but it also was, because I knew I wanted to leave like 2 years ago, and really it really stuck. Like, I knew I was going to leave. I would say the past 2-3 weeks, not gonna lie. But for the past 2 years I've looked for jobs, not consistently. I pretty much gave up looking for jobs after they didn't work out. I've looked for jobs, done an interview. I did an interview twice for a place, never got back to me. I'm like, why did I come for a second interview then if you weren't going to hire me? Usually if you do the second interview, you're pretty much a high candidate, I assumed. But no, I never got the job. So after a while of looking and trying, I gave up. So I just stayed there. And like I said, it's one of those jobs that like make you feel stuck. Like you get comfortable there. It's a very chill, laid back comfort job. It was an office type of job. And they're also very lenient, not with like the job tasks, like you still have your job to do, but they're more like lenient and nicer, as if you call out sick, have a family emergency, vacation, if you are planning to take a vacation, like little things like that that make a job very accommodating. They were very accommodating, which also made me feel stuck, but I was also comfortable. And I will admit, I don't like to fully try new things. Like I'm scared to get a new job. Like I'm very comfortable there. I'm scared to try new things, but also I give it my all. So once I try a new thing, I pretty much give it my all. So I was scared to leave because it was my first job. I was very comfortable. I really don't want to try nothing new. Like I'm comfortable. Like I don't like to be uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable with being uncomfortable, if you get what I'm getting at. So yeah, that's just the whole reason why I was there for so long. But I really got fed up. I'm not going to go into details because that's just drama. But let me just say, the job was like, reminded me of middle school and maybe freshman year of high school. Like it was just very kid-like. Like it's an office type job. It's a lot of older people. I was probably one of the youngest, but I wasn't the youngest because I've trained younger people. But yeah, it's more of like an adult and elderly type of job. And when I tell you, them people talk, they talk like dang. And pretty much after the first year of being there, I stayed to myself. I did what I had to do. I stayed to myself. I always have my headphones in, listening to music, and I did not talk unless I was talked to or if I was training. And let me also get into that. I was being underpaid for 3 of the 4 years. Yeah, let me talk about it. So I basically, within the first year of me being there, started training people because the lady that trained me, she was there for some years. She was also a young girl, and she ended up quitting. I don't know if she quit or put in her 2 weeks. I don't know. That's not my business. But she ended up leaving, and they needed somebody quickly to train. And they never told me that I'm the trainer. They didn't like give me the job title. And I think that's how they got around with not paying me more than what I was being paid at the time. Sorry for the quick interruption. I do want to add in, at the time that I started, I was on second shift, evening shift, because I was still in school, but I graduated. So once I graduated, I did switch to first shift. So by the time I got to first shift, they didn't really know everything that was going on in second shift as far as my pay wage and everything, which is why later in the video, when I tell you I went to the higher up boss, she was confused because she assumed I was getting paid what I was supposed to be getting paid. I'm at least assuming that's why she was confused, because otherwise she would have known what I was getting paid. They basically just kind of like threw me into training, kind of. Like they just one day came up to me and said, hey, would you be comfortable training someone today? And at first I was like, but also I was excited to. It was giving me something to do. And because that job is very repetitive, like the job that I do is very repetitive. So like training would have, it like kind of gave me something else to do. Like you're still doing this job, but like I don't know, it just gives you a little bit more to do instead of just the same thing all day. So I was like, yeah, sure. And ever since then, I've been the trainer, I've been training. They did sometimes give like another person or two someone to train, especially if I was already trained someone. They would give someone else another person to train. But for years that I was there, I've trained, I don't even know how many people. I was there 4 years, so obviously so many people. And the job, most people didn't stay at this specific position or at the job in general, just because it is a pretty boring job, not gonna lie. It's like you get comfortable there, but it's boring. It's the same thing every day, all day, at least my position. So many people did not stay, especially the younger people, which I don't blame because I completely understand. But that just goes to show you how many people I've trained in 4 years of being, well, 3 to 4 years of being there. Because I didn't start training right away when I started, but I'm pretty sure it was under a year of me being there I started training, not gonna lie. And it wasn't until about, it's about to be almost a year, or maybe a year ago, I found out I was being underpaid. Thankfully from a coworker, because a coworker came to me and told me asked me if I knew about her or how much I was getting paid or whatever the case may be. I can't remember how the conversation started, but it was because another worker quit after being there for a couple of years. She quit and she was training sometimes too with me. It was mainly like me and her, and she was getting paid a little bit more than me, and I didn't know that because I'm not going to ask you how much are you getting paid. Like, that's not my business. And also, like, I'm pretty sure you can get in trouble for asking that. But someone came up to me and like was talking to me about it and asked me, and my eye just went red because I was already kind of fed up with being there. I was like tired, bored, mentally exhausted, drained. I didn't like the job at this point. I wanted to leave. So when I found that out, just red, mad, angry, kind of shocked, in disbelief, confused. And yeah, after she finished what she had to say and I said what I had to say, I was like, you might want to walk away really quick because I'm immediately going to say something and then they'll put two and two together that you just told me. And she said, okay, okay. And she's like, don't tell them I said anything. I said, I promise I won't. And I sure didn't because I appreciate her still to this day. I'm sad that I didn't tell her bye when I left, but I was so mad, irritated that I just was ready to go. So I wish I would have said bye to her and one other person, but it is what it is. I immediately went to my higher up and I laid it out flat, and she respected me for that. Like, and to this day I respect her too. That's the only person I told that I was quitting today, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But I went to her and I was so, well, first I called my mom because I call my mom for everything. I called her and I was like, Mom, I told her what was happening. I said, do I have permission to go off? Not permission, but like I was joking with her, like, do I got permission to pop the off at this? And she was just in shock. She was like, yeah, go say what you have to say, like, figure this out. So I did. After I got the phone, hung it up because we have like a phone in the common area. I went to my higher up, I spoke to her, and she was like kind of shocked too, and she was confused. She didn't really understand like why I wasn't being paid for that, and because she knows that I'm a pretty good worker, and whenever we have like clients come in and like give them demos of like what we're doing, like she brings them to me. Like, I was the person that everyone came to first, like for training, for demos for clients, which was a big thing because these clients are $1 million top dollar clients that we process work for. Now that I don't work there, I can tell you what I did and what the job was. We were like a middleman company. We processed donations for higher companies, like big corporations, big companies, anything you can think of that do donations. That's what we processed. We processed donors, like who give them money through their credit cards or cash, all that. We processed that at my job, and I was a scan clerk. So I basically scan images to our database, to our machine, whatever. And it was a pretty easy job. It was the same thing every day. And so yeah, that's what we did. And what was my point of that? I don't know. I don't remember where I was getting at with that. But that was the job task. We work for higher corporations. We're a middleman. We process the donations for them. They're basically paying our job to do their work for them, basically. But so yeah, when they would come in, like, it was a big thing. Whoever, like, they had like a big group of people, my higher up, the company, whoever their top people they sent in, and she basically brought them to me to speak to them and like show them what we do, answer their questions if they had questions, and which is a big thing. Like, I'm basically the face to them, not of like the company obviously, but like of this position, and showing them what to do. I have to make sure I know how to answer their questions, like, and I was not trained for that, but like I just knew what to do. Like, I just jump into the role that I'm told to do, basically, which I shouldn't do that because I should be being paid extra for that too, if we're being honest here. But so that's why when I found out I was being underpaid for a training position, I was so mad, and I went to her, and she was like confused, and like, because she knows that I deserve a better pay. Like, she knew that, and she told me that because she brings people to me herself. Like, she purposely asks for me when companies come in and things like that. And so she was a little bit shocked, and so she pulled up my chart and everything, and she was just like, wow. And I was like, yeah, so you can see why I'm upset. And she's like, I completely understand. I respect you for coming to me, blah, 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 blah. And so from then on, I was getting paid a little bit more. I got paid more than what the last girl did just because I was being underpaid for so many years that I told her I expect more than that unless you're going to back pay me for 3 years, which obviously they're not going to do that. That just would take too long and probably a good bit of money, honestly. So she just gave me more than what a normal trainer would. And so after that, things cooled down, things were fine. But just the work environment just was not it, even before that. Even with the raise that I got, the money just, it's still not great money if I'm being honest. Most jobs get paid more. Like that job specifically is just not a high paying job. Everybody knew that going into it. When I first started, I could tell y'all this because this was years ago. When I first started, I was only getting paid $13. And then I got not hourly wage. The minimum wage went up, so I got $13.20. $13.20 or $13.30, I don't know. But when I first started, I was only getting paid $13. Yeah, that's crazy to think about now because you cannot survive off $13 an hour in this day and age. So even within 4 years of being there, I didn't get a big raise. That's all I'm gonna say. Only time I ever got more money was because minimum wage went up. So technically, I only got a raise because I fought for the raise because they were underpaying me. Yeah. So that should also just say a lot about the job. And I'm so glad I quit. I'm not even sad about it. I'm very happy, but scared. Like, I was smiling and everything. But when I came home, I cried. But not because I was sad, but because I'm scared. Because I don't have a job right now. And I have bills to pay. And a car. I got car problems. Like, car problems happen. Right now, I need something fixed right now. And I get paid tomorrow. And then I have possibly one more check after that of just the past week. But it wasn't a full week because today's Thursday. So, yeah, I'm scared. But I know God's got me. So let me tell you about how I actually quit today because we've been rambling. So now to today, there's been issues going on for honestly years now, but mainly things have been really bothering me for some reason, like mentally just been affecting me the past 2-3 weeks. I was out because a loved one was in the hospital, sick, had stuff going on, called out because obviously I'm worried about that, not work, truthfully. Like, I had stuff going on, so was dealing with that. I came back for like 2 days and I got sick, like really sick. So was out again. I was sick for 2 weeks, but I came back to work because I had no choice. And also the sickness was just going on for a whole nother week that I had to go back into the doctor's urgent care. I called out again because it just got bad. Like, I was sick for 2 weeks and the medicine they gave me the first time didn't do nothing. So I had to leave work again, was out for another 2 days, and finally got medicine, was feeling better, and went back to work. But when I came back, I just, obviously I was out with a loved one sick, things were happening, was in the emergency room, ICU, like my mind was not right. Like, I just was not fully back to work, and then I was sick and I just was not ready to work. And then I came back, they had attitudes, and baby, I am not the one for an attitude. If I respect you, I expect to be respected, especially in my place of work. Like, you're supposed to be professional. You're my boss, not my higher up boss. I don't really know their levels, but she was like, the two people I'm talking about are the people like in charge of our department. And if you're going to give me attitude, I'm going to give you attitude, whether you like it or not. I may not speak smart to you, but my attitude to you is I'm going to ignore you because this is my place of work. I'm trying to be professional. So instead of just talking and popping back at you or giving you attitude that you're giving me, I'm just going to not talk to you. Simple as that, because you're not about to get me fired. I'm not about to lose my job because of you. I'm not going to give you what you want, which is probably for me to leave or get fired, which in the end game, I did give them what they probably wanted. And honestly, I'm happy about leaving, so let them, I gave them what they want. I don't care. That's another reason why I stayed for so long, is because I never wanted to give someone the upper hand and be like, oh yeah, she quit, or she couldn't handle the job, or give them what they wanted. They did not like me and wanted me to leave, then they would be like, oh yeah, she's finally gone. Like, I just did not want to give nobody the upper hand. But once I came back from being out from the hospital and then being out sick and coming back and then being out sick again, all within a span of 2 to 3 weeks, when I came back, I was not about to deal with that again. Like, I deal with it before that, but then something just flipped. When I came back, I just was like, I don't want to deal with y'all. And you're giving me attitude and I don't appreciate it. Like, and it's not the first time. Went to a higher up about somebody before and they were crying in the office, boo-hooing. And one of them is the same person now. And I'm like, girl, you don't have me have you crying in that office, boo-hooing, face red, bloodshot, basically scared that you're about to lose your job, but also crying because you don't want to be disliked. If you don't want to be disliked, stop talking. Simple. Stop talking about people if you don't want to be disliked. Simple. She's a crybaby, but she's also a follower. She's a grown woman too. Every time she gets called out for doing shit behind a worker's back, she cries about it, or she goes to the bathroom and cry. Girl, if you want to talk shit about everybody and like be a bitch to everybody, then be that. Don't go crying afterwards when you get called out for it. Anyways, they get me out of my character, which is another reason why I just stopped talking, because I don't want to get out of character. I just am going to go up to the higher up and say what I have to say to them, and maybe get out of character with them a little bit just for them to understand, and then go back to work. I've done that once already with one of the girls that I'm talking about now. But then the second lady, I already know people have gone to our higher up and complained about her, because they came to me about it too and asked me if I had a similar experience. Like, the coworkers in there talked, obviously, when we had similar experiences. So there was at least 3 people in there that all felt the same way that I did about one specific person. And they told me that they went to our higher up and spoke to him about it. So clearly, 1 + 1 = 2. If multiple people are complaining about one person, do something about it. But they didn't, because they know nobody's going to take her spot. Nobody wants her spot. Nobody wants to take that. What's the word? And she knows nobody's going to take her spot, so she's going to act how she wants to act. And she knows that. But I used to like her a lot. I really did. But then she just started to become more and more of a bitch, you know? So I came back and my mind wasn't fully there. I did ask a dumb question that I should have known the answer to, because I've been there for years. But like, give me some grace. We all got questions. We all going through our own things. I asked a question just to like make sure I was right, because I didn't want to mess it up. And usually anytime I make a mistake, I catch it anyways and bring it to them before it gets farther down the chain line of our processing of the mail. So you don't get in trouble if you catch a mistake, which anytime I've ever made a mistake, I always catch it, and they never have a problem with me because I always catch my mistake, so it doesn't get down the line to cause more problems. So this day when I came back, I forgot something, and so I asked them a question first before I did it, because I didn't want to mess it up. And they looked at me like I was stupid, and they said, "No, Sierra, check your badge," because we have like a badge and it has like some clients on there that I don't know how to explain it, but is my thing's overheating? What does that mean? Oh, my camera's overheating. I gotta hurry up. So I asked a different question that I probably shouldn't know the answer to, and they would look at me like I'm stupid and say, "It's on your badge, Sierra." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I just wanted to ask, like, sorry." And the one girl like shakes her head and rolls her eyes and like shaking her head and walk away. I looked at her, I looked at the other girl, but like the other girl was like still looking at, I almost said her name, the other girl, and like she kind of laughed along with her. And I'm like, "Oh, so you think it's funny and you want to shake your head and roll your eyes. Got it. I see what's going on here." That right then and there was the start of it. And even later that day, I heard them talking behind me about me, but acting like they weren't talking about me, you know? And because the girl, I think, ended up going and crying in the bathroom because I was giving her attitude for the rest of the day. Like, I just wasn't speaking to her how I normally do. I just didn't talk to her. I ignored her. And so I think that bothered her. And then she brought it up to the girl, the woman, and they both were talking as if I couldn't hear them. They were doing it on purpose, you know? And so I was fed up. But let me come back after my camera cools down, because it's overheating. Okay, I'm back. I didn't give my camera too much time to cool down, but it's cooled down right now, so I'm gonna hurry up and finish this video. Clearly, it was just a talking video. I didn't even get ready, but nonetheless, where did I leave off at? Oh, I know where I left off at. So after that, I was just like, regardless if my question was stupid or not, we should, as us being your scanners and you're being our being our boss or higher up, we're supposed to come to you to ask questions. We should not be uncomfortable or scared to ask you questions. And she also, one of the girls, would always just give attitude and like be smarky, or like you just never wanted to go and ask her questions because you knew she was just gonna look at you stupid, or just be like a little bit attitude. And like who wants to have an attitude just by asking you a question or wanting to double check something they did? And so it came to the point, even before this, but I just stopped asking her questions and would just go to the other girl. Even though I didn't like both of them, I equally disliked both of them, but I'd rather ask her the question. So also today, I walked past her to ask the other girl a question, just how I've kind of been doing. And this isn't the first time she said something about it. One time I walked past her and asked the other girl a question, and when I was leaving to walk back out, to go back to my station, she was like, why you walk, I forget how she said it. She kind of said it jokingly, but she was also serious. Like she wanted to know like why I didn't come to her, like why I stopped coming to her. And she was like, you know, you can ask me too, right? And like she was like, you don't have to walk past me to go to her. I was like, yeah, I know. And I was like, well, you were doing something on the computer, so I just asked her. She was like, okay, well, next time you can just ask me instead of having to ask her. And I was like, okay. I didn't tell her the truth. I just was like, okay. I just don't see why it's a problem. Both of y'all are in charge, so why does it matter if I ask her or you? She clearly was bothered by it, so I kept doing it. Sometimes I would ask her just because she was there, or just because I kind of didn't think to just go ask the other girl. But then today I purposely, not purposely because it wasn't purposeful, but at the same time was it though, because I seen her there but I just chose to go to her. Subconsciously I just walked past her and went to the other girl, and I couldn't tell if she said my name, but as I walked past her, she knew that I was going to ask my other, not boss, but higher up or whoever she is, that I had asked a question. I think she said something to you. I think she might have said my name, but I couldn't hear her fully. But as I was asking her the question, she pointed to her behind me. She was like, you know, you can ask so-and-so too, right? And I was just like, I shook my shoulder. I was like, yeah. She was like, because she was closer and I was back here walking up. And I was like, yeah, but you were walking up, so I just asked you. She was like, okay, well, just next time you can ask her. And I was just like, okay, well, she was on her computer, so I didn't want to bother her. Truth be told, I didn't want to ask you because you're a bitch. I obviously wasn't going to say that because I don't want to call no girl out their name, and an older woman at that. She's older than me. But so I was just like, clearly y'all are bothered. Clearly y'all are just doing too much. It's really not worth it. And I'm not going to go into details because there's just so many other aspects that play into it, obviously, and so many other little things throughout my workday of the past 2 years that have just really stuck with me and bothered me. They didn't stick with me, but for that week they did. And at this point today, I had enough of it because they were also purposely stacking me with a certain kind of work, and I'm like, why is it just me? Why can't someone else do it? Like, maybe I do it one day and someone else does it another day. Why am I doing it every day of the week and y'all are solely relying on me to get it done, and if it's not done, it's my fault, or I'm moving too slow that day and we're already behind on work? So she told me when I asked her yesterday, because I asked her, I was like, why am I only doing this? I was like, because usually we all do it. Like this specific type of work, it's credit cards, processing people's credit cards. And she was like, well, we were told to give it to one person because we're behind and we needed to scan our other work. And she was like, that's from the higher up. Like, she like kind of got smart on that part. And I was like, oh, okay. So I left it alone. But I'm like, okay, I get that. But if it's one person, why does it have to be me every day of the week doing it? Why can't it be me one day, someone else another day, someone else another day, someone else another day? Or me this day, someone else this day, me this day, somebody else this day, you know? That wasn't the case. Granted, it's only Thursday. I started Monday, possibly Friday, doing this specific work. But it was just, I felt like it was purposeful, being honest. Maybe it wasn't, maybe it was. Honestly, I think it was purposeful. They knew what they were doing, especially after I like kind of complained about it. Not complained, but like they could tell I didn't like it. They purposely do that to me. They've done that before. Like, they'll purposely do something and put me on a task that they know I don't like because they want to bother me. And I let it bother me. I shouldn't have, but I did, especially today on Thursday after doing it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because it literally takes me from the time I come in to the time I leave. Like, I don't even finish it to literally the second I'm clocking out. And yesterday I didn't even finish it. So I know that was a problem with them. But like, you're putting it all on one person. If it needs to be done and it's a problem, why not divide it out? Like, that's your fault. Like, sorry to say it, whether I'm moving slow or not, which yesterday I even admitted to my top boss because she went over me with some stats and stuff the day before, which is another reason why I just was like, y'all are playing in my face. I even admitted that I was moving slow that day, which she respected. But they're starting to like get on us because we're behind on work, which is understandable. We have a job to do. But they started putting out the numbers and stuff, and I was like, I kept clocking certain things that just were not right. And then some things were not in my hands, and it was on someone else's hands, and I had to tell her that. So I had to put the work I don't like, I had to put her under the bus a tiny bit, but that wasn't my fault. You should have told her that before I came in. Like, that's between y'all two. I'm not about to be to blame for that. No. So this is a really long video. I'm so sorry, but hey, you read the title, you knew what you were getting yourself into. But anyways, that was the majority. Today was a problem where I was just like, you know what, I kind of knew that I was gonna leave today, although I'm very in order. I wanted to have a second job lined up before I left and put in my 2 weeks to be more professional. But after today and me getting that same work again, when I walked in and I seen it, I knew I was leaving that day. Well, I didn't know, but I was like, if they give me problems today, I will leave. And of course, something happened. And then I started to get like irritated to the point where I was making mistakes in my work. I always catch the mistakes, so I take it straight to them to delete it. And I was just like, I made, I think, 2 or 3, it was two mistakes, which usually I don't make, not to sound cocky or anything, but I usually don't make any mistakes, and if I do, it's like once a month type of thing. So by this point, I already called my mom, and I told her what was going on, and like, would she be disappointed and stuff like that, because I don't want to let my mom down. Like, that's just, that would really bother me. And she said, no, I'm not going to be mad, but like, you will need to get another job. Like, you have bills to pay. Like, she just wants to make sure I still am on track of things and I'm not just going to like bed rot, which I'm not, and stuff like that. And she was like, I mean, hey, do what you got to do. Like, she knows what's been going on for a while now. She was like, you know what, do what you got to do. And once she gave me the green light, I was just like, okay, all right. And so I went back to my desk, and I was still scanning. I wasn't going to leave. I just was like, no, like, I need to have a backup plan. I'm going to just leave work today. Whenever my shift's over, I'll immediately start looking for another job. Because I started looking yesterday too again. And I was like, God, if I make a mistake, I understand. I'm going to take that as my sign. I told him, give me a sign if I need to leave. And I said, if I make another mistake, I'm taking that as your sign. I can't remember exactly what I said, but I was basically talking to God. And if you don't believe in signs and stuff, this isn't for you. And if you don't believe in God, this part is not for you. But I sure do believe in God. After I said that, kid you not, 10 minutes later, what did I do? I made a mistake. And at this point, I was not going to them to fix it, because they had attitude, and they was like, just, I was bothered by them, they were bothered by me. And I just was like, I knew if I went to them, I was going to be smart, because if I know that you're being attitude with me and you're like having a problem with me, I fight the urge so bad to say something. And the only reason why I fight the urge is because I'm at work. If I wasn't at work, I would be saying it to your face. But by that point, I was like, God, thank you. I was excited, not gonna lie, I was excited. I was like, I seen the mistake, and I was like, at first I was like, shoot, because like, I know I'd have to go say something to them. But I was like, oh, wait a minute, God did that. He really did that. I made the mistake, and I just put it to the side. I said, all right, I'm done. I'm not even going to take that to them. They can delete it later and fix it later, because I'm leaving anyways. I don't give a. So I immediately logged off my stuff, and I put everything away. This sounds kind of cruel, but I was excited. I don't care. I was excited. Yeah, once I got that sign from God, I immediately started packing up my stuff, putting everything away, logging off my machine, everything. Like, when I mean everything, I mean everything. I was done. And then I went up again into the hallway and texted my mom on the watch and was like, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Because she already knew at this point what was going on. And I grabbed my stuff and walked, because I was in the room where like my higher up office is at. So I went straight to her and I said, listen, I respect you, which is why I'm coming to you and not anybody else, because I could care less about them. I'm quitting. And she just was like she was so shocked, and like was just, I don't know if she was disappointed, but she was shocked and maybe a little upset, because that's the lady that I was talking about that like I went to about my raise, and she respects me and likes and likes what I do. She was giving me like these little coins to take up to the office to exchange for rewards and stuff because of how good I was doing. And she was the one that would always bring the clients to me and everything. And she was just like, her mouth immediately dropped open. And I just was like, I was like a little bit shaking because I was like nervous to tell her, but I wasn't like scared. Like I was excited to leave. And like I was talking to her for a quick minute. I didn't even come in and sit down and shut the door. I just stood in the doorway and spoke to her. And she just was like, what? And she just was like, why? And just like, she was just like so confused because it came out of nowhere to her. And I was like, honestly, it's a lot that goes on in here. I don't care to really explain what's been going on, but these people, the people I work with, is not it anymore. And so I gave her a hint of what was going on, but not really, because I just did not care to explain to her because people have already complained. So if you didn't do nothing about it then, that's your problem. I don't care because I'm leaving. And I was just like, I'm fed up. I'm tired of it. I'm mentally drained and exhausted. Like, I mentally hate coming into work every day here, and I just don't enjoy it anymore. Blah blah blah. I was pretty quick with it, and I just kept talking for like a quick minute or two, and she just was like, and she was just like, okay. Like, she obviously couldn't say like no or like not, don't leave. Like, she just was like, she's like, well, I mean, if that's what you want to do. She's like, I respect it. And I was like, thank you. I came to you because I respect you. Like, I really appreciate everything you've done. She was like, thank you. Like, she was very like shocked and like, thank you so much. Like, happy that I like came to her. She's like, well, if you ever want to come back, like, the job is still here and open for you. And I was like, okay, thank you. Girl, are you trying to come back? I mean, God forbid if something happens and I do have to come back, but gosh, no, please. And that was it. I walked out and I was just all smiles. I was so excited. I didn't tell nobody bye. Like, in the moment, I just was like ready to leave. I wish I would have told 2 people bye. My old boss, before we switched over like department names, because I've told her things I hadn't told people before. And like, she was there with me the first time I had made a complaint about somebody, and she was like, she was not having that. She put her foot down, and that's why that girl was crying in the office. That's why the girl was crying. If you remember what I was just telling you a little bit ago in the video, how she was boohoo crying and everything in the office. Yeah, that boss, I loved her too. Like, she was like very stone cold and stuff at times, but like, she don't play. And she's only stone cold until like she respects you and you've been there for a little bit and she knows who you are. And then she's like, she opens up a little bit and like will talk to you and respect you, and you know you can come to her, you know. The only reason why I didn't tell her bye was because her office door was shut. So she was either on break, on a phone call, or gone for the day. So I didn't get to tell her bye. And I wanted to also tell bye the girl that told me originally about how I was supposed to be getting paid more. But yeah, I just was ready to go. I clocked out, I was smiling, I was excited, I couldn't hide it. And I left. And that was that. That was today, earlier around like 11, 12 something. I usually get up around 3:30. Now it's 4:13. And I'm excited, nervous, but excited. I'm happy. Only reason why I'm nervous is, like I said, because I don't got no job right now, and I need a job, especially my birthday coming up. Like, I wanted to do something for my birthday, so I might have to go work at a warehouse for a couple months and stack up that bread. I don't know. But yeah, that was it for the video. I mean, what better way to start off the new year than leaving something that wasn't serving you no more, that doesn't make you happy. Now, who's to say I'm gonna get a better job in 2026? I might still just have like a regular job, but a job is a job regardless. You're making money. But eventually in life, I do want to obviously have like a top 9 job, like a good job, a good paying job. But you gotta work your way there. So it is what it is. I'm excited. I'm happy that I left my job finally, especially because it was affecting my mental health. So I'm excited. That's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was a long one, possibly, depending on what I edit out. But Happy New Year. I don't want to tell you to quit your job, but if you're unhappy at your job, find a backup plan and plan to leave that job. Especially a new year, stop being unhappy at a job. They don't pay you enough. And if they do pay you enough, maybe stick it out. Or maybe have another job lined up that pays the same or better. But that job was not paying me nowhere near enough to deal with that or be affecting my mental health. So I had to go, which is very crazy and scary, because like, I never would have done that in a million years. Like, I'm not the type to do that and leave stuff because I just put my all into it. But I don't know, God gave me that sign, and once he gave me that sign, and it being the new year, I was like, I hear you, I see you. I'm not taking no chances, because who knows how much longer I would have been stuck there. I probably would have been stuck there for many more years. You never know. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope everyone is having a good new year, and don't settle when it comes to these jobs. If you ain't getting paid what you're worth, either speak up and get paid for what you're worth, or leave that job, boo. And yeah, that's it. Love you guys.